We do listen carefully to what all of our team members say, and we do try hard to implement change for the better whenever we can. So being relevant is more than about appearances or even functionality. So what we're going to focus on today is how we can ensure that our firm continues to stay strong and stay relevant.
I met a lot of new people that I don't normally work with, and I'm out in the field a lot, so it's nice to be able to get to meet some of the other, especially tax people who I never see, in Boca and Jupiter.
It's not something you have to do every single week, or, you make it work within your life. Obviously, work, family, work, those are the priorities, but you can always make time to sort of volunteer and give back to the community.
Whatever it may be, I have a purpose for it, I'm passionate about it. That way it becomes more fulfilling.
Also put the Daszkal Bolton name in the community. It's everywhere I go, everyone I meet. It's, their ears perk up, their eyes open up when they hear Daszkal Bolton. So that's very rewarding.
So it really is just about touching base with them, talking to them, seeing what's going on, and being interested.
But remember that with every businesses, there are owners and their families, and with that, estate planning, with that, succession planning. Oh, your kids don't want the business? Well, what's your plan?
I'll send out an email to majority of my clients or through phone calls, depending on, some clients like receiving emails, they don't want to hear your voice. Some prefer that I call them. Some even prefer that I text them.
I usually try and bring somebody else with me to at least, if not the first meeting, other meetings. And then I try and make sure that we meet multiple people at their organization, because if you're only meeting one person at the organization, you're only finding out what their perspective is and what their needs are.
It's by going to all the events and being involved and really getting to know the students, not just, it's different if you're just interviewing somebody as a senior and you really don't get to know them, but when you kind of meet them throughout that process, when they come up to you and they're really green as maybe a junior or something, and then personality-wise, you see them at all the events, you really get to know them, and they get to know us, more importantly.
Now, I give a lot of CPE. The great thing about it is that people think you're an expert. You may not be, but it instills confidence in yourself, and it's been great for me.
Because the potential's there, just giving them the tools, the training to be able to, learn as much as they can in the most efficient way possible.
So that sense of burnout you get at the end of tax season, you'll feel reinvigorated. That next week when you feel like you're making a difference in the workplace and people come and they thank you because you are making a difference in their everyday lives.
It's one thing to have a presence, but it's another thing to have an influence on the community. And so when you step into an organization or you're on a board or something like that, you have a real opportunity to have an influence on the community.
So each time you change the role from senior to supervisor to manager to partner, your role kind of changes, so the relevant topics that you really need to be learning are different.
When I first started to do this, aggressively marketing in 2009, 2010, obviously the economy was really bad. So I went to every marketing event, every charity, I was on boards. What I learned over time is that you have to sort of do that initially to figure out what your niche is, who's going to work with you, what you're going to do.
We're going to treat them, first class and really work to earn the confidence of the client that they just sent and keep the center of influence looking good so that their client is happy with them.
And then again, you narrow it down to who you would like to continue your relationship with. Some people you connect with and some people you don't. So it's really nice start to go with the larger group, and then you can narrow it down.
Go to some chamber events, talk to some strangers, and be comfortable explaining to somebody who you are, what you do, and why you're good at it. And if you're not comfortable, bring somebody with you. Bring someone I'll go with anybody that asks me.
We take great pride in who we are as a collective group, but we're only made possible by the individual actions of this group. Our value code is intended as a moral compass that guides our decisions as we look to conquer new ground for ourselves and others. We want each and every one of you to succeed, and staying relevant in all areas of our development is how we do that. If you're successful, we're successful.